Hello again. I'm about to read chapter 6 entitled Ta-da! In the Night Before Dawn by Mary Pope Osborne. If you guys are still listening, let me know in the comments. If there's another book that you want me to read, let me know and I'll try and go to the library and get some more for you guys. I'm glad people are still listening. I hope everybody's doing okay. All right, chapter 6. Ta-da! In the torchlight, Jack saw 3 huge men standing over him. One with very squinty eyes held the torch. One had a very red face. The one with a very red face held Jack, and the one with a very long mustache held Annie. Annie was kicking and yelling. "Stop," said the one with the very long mustache. "Who art thou?" said the one with the very red face. "Spies, foreigners, Egyptians, Romans, Persians," said the squinty eyes. "No, you dummies," said Annie. "Oh, brother," Jack muttered. "Arrest them," said the red face. "The dungeon," said the squinty eyes. The guards marched Jack and Annie out of the armory. Jack looked back frantically. Where was his backpack? "Go," said the guard, giving him a push, and Jack went. Down they marched, down a long, dark hallway. Squinty, Annie, Mustache, Jack, and Red. Down the narrow, winding staircase, Jack heard Annie shouting at the guards, "Dummies, meanie, we didn't do anything." The guards laughed, and they didn't take her seriously at all. At the bottom of the stairs was a big iron door with bars across it. This is not good. They're going to jail. They're going to the dungeon. Squinty pushed the bar off the door. Then he shoved at the door. It creaked open. Jack and Annie were pushed into a cold and clammy room. The fiery torch lit the dungeon. There were chains hanging off the filthy walls. Water dripped from the ceilings, making puddles on the stone floor. It was the creepiest place Jack had ever seen. We'll keep them here until the feast is done. Then turn them over to the Duke, said Squinty. He knows how to take care of thieves. They will be hanging tomorrow, said Mustache. If the rats don't get them first, said Red, and they all laughed. Jack saw that Annie had his backpack. She was quietly unzipping it. "Come on, let's chain the 2 of them," said Squinty. The guards started towards them, and Annie whipped her flashlight out of her pack. "Ta-da!" she yelled. The guards froze. They were staring at the shiny flashlight in her hands. Remember, this is medieval times, and they didn't know what a flashlight was. Annie switched the flashlight on. The guards gasped in fear. They jumped back to the wall. Squinty dropped the torch. It fell to a dirty puddle on the floor, sputtered, and went out. "A magic wand," Annie said, waving the flashlight. "Get down or I will wipe you out." Jack's mouth dropped open. Annie fiercely pointed the light at one and then the other. Each howled as they covered his face. "Down, all of you, get down," shouted Annie. One by one, the guards lay down on the wet floor. Jack couldn't believe it. "Come on," Annie said, "let's go." Jack looked at the open doorway. He looked at the guards quivering on the ground. "Hurry," said Annie. In one quick leap, Jack followed her out of the terrible dungeon. So look at that. So they didn't know what a flashlight was because this was so long ago. So they think that she's magic, like she's a wizard, because they just had torches that were on fire. Chapter 7, A Secret Passage. Jack and Annie raced back up the winding stairs and down the long hallway. They hadn't gone far when they heard shouting from behind them. Dogs barked in the distance. "They're coming!" Annie cried. "In here," said Jack. He shoved open a door off a hallway and pulled Annie into a dark room. Jack pushed the door shut. Then Annie shined her flashlight around the room. There were rows of stacks and wooden barrels. "I'd better look at the book," said Jack. "Get it to me." Annie gave him the flashlight and his backpack. He pulled out the book and started tearing through it. "Shh," said Annie, "someone's coming." Jack and Annie jumped behind the door as it creaked open. Jack held his breath. A light from the torch danced wildly over the sacks and barrels. The light disappeared. The door slammed shut. "Oh man," whispered Jack, "we have to hurry. They might come back." His hands were trembling as he flipped through the pages of the castle book. "Here's a map of the castle," he said. "Look, this must be the room we're in. This is the storeroom." Jack studied the book. There were sacks of flour and barrels of wine. "Who cares? We have to go," said Annie, "before they come back." "No, look," said Jack, and he pointed to the map. "There's a trap door." He read it out loud. "This door leads from the storeroom to a secret passage to go over the moat." So he's looking in there, and it's telling him that they can go. There's a trap door there. That means a secret passage. All right, but first we have to find the door. Jack looked at the picture carefully. Then he shone the flashlight around the room. The floor of the room was made up of stones. The trapdoor in the picture was 5 stones away from the door to the hall. He shined his light on the floor and counted the stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He stomped on the 5th stone. It was loose. He put the flashlight on the floor and he worked his fingers around the thin sheet of stone and tried to lift it up. "Help," Jack said. Annie came over and helped him lift the stone square out of its place. Underneath was a small wooden door. Annie and Jack tugged the rope handle of the door. The door fell open with a thunk. Jack picked up the flashlight and shined it through the hole. "There's a little ladder," he said. "Let's go." He clipped the flashlight to his belt and felt his way down the small ladder, and Annie followed. They both reached the bottom of the ladder. Jack shined the light around him. "There's a tunnel." He crouched down and began moving through the dark, damp, creepy tunnel. The flashlight barely lit the walls. He shook the light. The batteries were running out. "I think the light is dying," he said. "Hurry," she called from behind. Jack went faster. His heart hurt from crouching. The light was dimmer and dimmer. He was determined to get out of this castle before the batteries died completely. Soon he reached another small wooden door. It was the end of the tunnel. Jack unlatched the door and pushed it up. He poked his head outside. He couldn't see anything in the misty darkness. The air felt good, cool and fresh. He took a deep breath. "Where are we?" whispered Annie behind him. "What do you see?" "Nothing, but I think we've come out to the outside of the castle," said Jack. "I'll find out." He put the flashlight in his backpack, and he put the pack on his back. He stuck his head out the door, and he could feel the ground. He couldn't feel the ground, just the air. "I'm going to have to go feet first," he said. Jack turned around in the small tunnel and lay on his stomach. He stuck one leg out and then the other. Jack inched down bit by bit until he was hanging out the door, clinging to the edge. "This must be the precipice," he called to Annie. "Pull me up." Annie reached for his hands. "I can't hold you," she said. Jack felt his fingers slipping, then down he fell through the darkness. Splash! Oh man, where do you think they ended up? Maybe in the moat? There he is. He's falling. And that's the end of the chapter. All right, we'll find out next time. See you guys later. Bye.